Is an explosive move on the way for crypto. This would include Bitcoin and the altcoins here. And of course, I am looking at the Bitcoin charts because this is the driver of the crypto markets. If you don't believe me, just look at Bitcoin dominance. It is 65%. That tells you that Bitcoin takes up 65% of the market share of this crypto market. So this is why I pay attention to Bitcoin. I am long on Bitcoin, quite a bit of these altcoins, and I am just waiting for this move. It's been taking a while, I know, and it's been very volatile, especially for the altcoins, while Bitcoin is trying to break out of its all-time highs. But once Bitcoin breaks out of its all-time highs, that is going to be explosive for the altcoins to the upside. But right now, we are still looking at this pattern here, which I'll get more into, and you guys do not want to be missing because it could determine the next altcoin move. Let's take a look into some major crypto news here that could affect the markets as well. And I am pulling these news pieces, these headlines from TradingView. Now, first one here is going to be by Crypto Potato. Persistent selling on Binance derivative meets stubborn Bitcoin resilience. Yes, I do see quite a bit of Bitcoin resilience, especially for the last couple of days, especially after Bitcoin looked like it was going to break out. I mean, it has broken out of that falling wedge pattern I've been talking to you guys about on the daily time frame. Price target is about 120K. That breakout is still valid, even though Bitcoin hasn't done much after the breakout there. Okay, so it sounds like a bullish piece of news here. If you guys want to read more into it, do get TradingView. If you guys don't already have it, I have an affiliate link in the description section below. Plans go for under $20 per month to more. And if you sign up using my link below, I will get a commission, and you guys are supporting my channel, and thank you very much. Next piece here. Crypto news. $200 million floods into Bitcoin ETFs for 3 straight days. Okay, maybe that's why we're seeing that resilience from Bitcoin price action. It has been staying above that 108K, at least in terms of candle closes, daily candle closes. New bull market starting. Yes, I very much agree. The new bull market is still waiting on Bitcoin to break above 110K. We're very close to it. However, I see why the market is jittery and volatile, especially volatile, because we're seeing if this is the potential top, or would Bitcoin break above this level and claim this as support. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price analysis. Bitcoin at risk of pullback as new all-time hopes diminish. Now, this is a bearish tone kind of headline here. You know, I read every headline, every news, or listen to anything with a more skeptical and critical piece of state of mind, right? Because I don't believe everything I hear or see. At the end of the day, I look at the charts and I determine my own opinion. And of course, this is my own opinion and speculations. None of what I'm saying here is financial advice in this video. And you should do your own due diligence and form your own opinion. But this is a bearish tone type of headline, of course. And what I'm seeing here is, I really don't think the risk of, the new all-time hopes are diminishing. Okay, I think we have a higher chance of Bitcoin breaking out. Of course, there's a lower chance that Bitcoin breaks back into the pattern, and we're gonna see more downside for the altcoins. But it's just something that I risk manage and plan, right? We're also going to be taking a look into a few altcoins. I just want to mention that, which is going to be past the 10-minute mark, usually. We're going to be taking a look into SEI. We're going to be taking a look into ZBCN VeChain, see what's going on in those markets after these news headlines. Now, this is by the block. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF IBIT surpasses 700,000 Bitcoin in asset under management. That sounds great for BlackRock, and I think it's very bullish for the market as well because, well, one, I think, since there's less Bitcoin on the market, whatever's left on the market, I think that's, if there's going to be a surge in demand, I think that would pump up the price pretty quickly. Next piece of news here is by News BTC. 50% Bitcoin price crash on the horizon. Analysts review $60,000 target maybe after the end of this bull run. I would say that's reasonable to see $60,000 Bitcoin target. Just like we saw at the end of last bull run, remember? Where it went from 65,000 all the way down to below 20,000. So maybe at the end of this bull run, we could see 60,000 again. That's just my opinion. All right, let's come over here to take a look into Bitcoin here. Very important. I trade altcoins, but this is the first chart I consider when I open or close altcoin positions. This is what I'm talking about. Daily time frame. For the past couple of days, the breakout has been very slow. Since it actually broke out of this pattern here on July 3rd. Has been staying on top of the pattern here with solid daily candle closes. If we start dumping back into the pattern, which I think there's a lower chance of, right, relative to it breaking out of 110K, then that's going to be very bad for the altcoins. But I think the breakout is more likely. That is just my opinion. If it starts breaking the daily moving averages, that will also be, that's the next key level of support I'm looking at. That would be bad. Then we're looking at some more downside. But until then, I'm still bullish. Let's take a look into the stock market real quick. ES1 exclamation mark. Okay. Still very bullish here. S&P 500 futures because I'm still seeing higher lows on these higher time frames, including from the daily time frame, 3-day time frame, weekly time frame, where I'm still seeing higher lows here. Okay. And why are higher lows important? It's because if you can hold a higher low, the next logical move is a higher high. That is just how an uptrend looks like. Until you break that higher low, then the market on that time frame still looks bullish. All right, let's come over here to some altcoins here and see what's going on with, first of all, Zebec Network. I've done an update on Zebec Network a couple of days ago. Okay, what could be happening in this market right now? Well, let's take a look into the weekly time frame. Okay, weekly time frame. Why is this important? Because Zebec Network broke out of this cup and handle, which the resistance was at about 0.225 cents resistance, and Zebec is retesting that resistance right now, and see if it can hold as support. Quite a bit of there is a major support here as well, which is the weekly 21 SMA, the blue line here. So those are some major support levels below the price action right now that ZBCN could get a bounce from. Okay, that's just it's likelier, right? Now, if we actually zoom in to the daily time frame, now since the last time, a couple days ago, I did an update on Zebec. I know I had a mixture of comments, right? Some said it was a trap. I think that, and of course others are more optimistic, right? I'll give you guys my opinion. Okay, the falling wedge pattern still valid. I made some adjustments to extend the trend lines. I think ZBCN is still very much within this pattern because it wicked. So basically, the bears actually try to break down from this pattern, but the bulls bought it right back up, and that's why you see candles ending back within the pattern. Okay, so in my opinion, this falling wedge is still valid, and falling wedges tend to break to the upside. Okay, so it usually breaks to the upside, and if it does, the price target here is going to be about 0.56 cents price targets. Okay. Now, price targets are estimates only, right? And this is a price target out of this pattern here. Could ZBCN go up further if it meets this price target? Yes. What I would do is if ZBCN comes all the way up to this price target, big if, okay, right now, I would chart the pattern if it consolidates and see what the probability, what it's telling me, right? Am I getting a bullish pattern that tells me that it's gonna more likely continue upwards from there, or will it pull back? So that's how I usually do it, given that scenario. Right now it's on that bottom trend line. Let's see if this pattern stays intact or would it break down, okay, against its probabilities. All right, let's come over here to VeChain, see what's going on in this market here. VeChain, last couple of days I've talked about it. Okay, I talked about was a plummet for VeChain in the cards anytime soon. I don't think so. Especially a 40% VeChain plummet. At least I don't think so personally. That's because what I'm seeing here for VeChain is that it broke out of a falling wedge pattern on the weekly time frame. It it did go up to about almost 3.5 cents before taking a dip. That's because you're seeing quite a bit of these resistance, these moving averages acting as resistance and on the weekly time frame. Okay. Now, price target out of this bigger falling wedge pattern is going to give VeChain about a 6.2 cents price target. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Very much dependent on what kind of market you're dealing with. And right now, we're dealing with a Bitcoin consolidation market, which is not that bullish until Bitcoin breaks out of its all-time highs. And when Bitcoin is not that bullish, I would be more careful and take shorter term targets comparing to if Bitcoin is very bullish above its all-time highs. Now, that's just me, right? Now, since it has actually gotten rejected about that 3.5 cents price level, it has formed another falling wedge pattern here, right? And it broke to the upside, okay, a couple days ago. There's still quite a bit of resistance, including your daily moving averages. Moving averages above the price action is resistance, and but the price target here is going to be about 2.9 cents price target for VeChain out of the smaller falling wedge pattern. It is still a valid breakout because it is still above this upper trend line. So that's why I don't think a VeChain plummet is anytime soon, in the next couple of weeks at least. And now, if you guys want to see any more of VeChain or any of these coins I'm talking about, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll bring you guys an update if enough of you guys want to see it. So let's go ahead and go to the next one, SEI, and see what's going on in this market here. All right, not much has really changed for SEI. Okay, like I said, what you want to pay attention to, in my opinion, is on the weekly time frame. Falling wedge pattern, still valid. Price targets, if it breaks out by this point, just an estimate. It's going to give SCI a price target of $1.25. I know I got a mixture of comments for SCI for my last video. If you guys have any bullish or bearish insights on any of these coins, make sure to drop a comment sharing with the community here why you think that is, or what the information is out there in the markets. I'm just talking to you guys purely based on what I'm seeing on the charts, and I'm just charting what's already on your chart there. Okay, so like I said, weekly time frame, $1.25 price target if it breaks out by this point, and if it breaks out. Zoom in, daily time frame. Okay, we had a smaller falling wedge pattern within the bigger falling wedge pattern, which will give SCI a price target of about 59 cents. It is trying to work its way there right now. As you guys can see, it formed quite a bit of falling wedge patterns. That's a very common pattern. That's probably the most common pattern that you should train your eyes to see because it's very simple and effective. Now, since it broke out of the smaller falling wedge pattern, which the price target was about 26 cents, it went way beyond that. Okay, so SCI was, it met its price target and some more, and now it is trying to stay on top of some of these moving averages, including the daily 200 SMA, as supports. Very important that if you guys are a bull, that SCI actually breaks out of this upward trend line here. Why am I saying that? It's because if it doesn't, then it's likely that this could be forming some type of a falling wedge pattern, right? Again, especially if these daily moving averages don't hold, then that's a hypothetical scenario that could happen. So this is basically what I'm seeing for SCI. Let's see if it can stay above some of these moving averages. And that wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to see any more of these coins or any other coins. I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. And I'll see you guys on the next one.